On Friday night, real-time host Bill Maher celebrated the second annual Kone Awards, honoring those who defy cancel culture.
Tonight, from Hollywood, the second annual Kone Awards, honoring outstanding achievement in growing a pair.
The coveted brass pair found its way into the hands of country music legend Garth Brooks. Recognized for courageously continuing to serve Bud Light at his Nashville bar despite a conservative boycott over the brand's partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney.
Our next award goes to Garth Rooks, who sings country music, so naturally he owns a bar. And naturally, last year he got a lot of shit for continuing to serve Bud Light, because as we all know, it makes you gay or worse, tolerant. But it took guts for Garth to not throw Bud Light under the bus, because country singers are beholden to red state fans. It's why there's no song called "She Thinks My Prius is Sexy." But Garth just said, if you're an asshole, there are plenty of other places to go. And that he wasn't going to stop selling a certain beer because a trans woman once touched a can. For reminding us that there's also a cancel culture mob on the right, Garth, here are two more friends that hang in low places.
Bill Maher, not one to shy away from controversy, also handed a pair of cojones to Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. The acclaimed writer has faced criticism for her views on transgender issues, particularly her insistence that transgender women are unmistakably different from biological women. Most recently, Rowling vocalized her discontent with British media coverage of a transgender woman convicted of a heinous crime, stating, quote, "These are hashtag not our crimes," unquote, and expressing frustration with the entire situation. Maher stood by Rowling's side, applauding her for taking a stand against what he views as cancel culture. He echoed her sentiments, highlighting that cancel culture is not exclusive to any political side.
And finally tonight, the Cohones Lifetime Achievement Award for excellence in not giving a fuck. This year goes to J.K. Rowling, who's famous for two things: a massive transfer of wealth from the world's children to her checking account, and for being endlessly vilified for refusing to bend the knee and kowtow to the one true opinion that a biological woman and a trans woman are completely indistinguishable in every way. I'm sorry you had to hear that, kids. Feel free to call a suicide hotline or post an angry TikTok. When a trans woman was convicted recently of murder and torturing cats, Rowling was incensed that Sky News and other British media would not include in their reporting that this person was transgender, and so tweeted, "These are not our crimes. I'm so sick of this shit." And I don't blame her. How many biological women torture cats? None. It's a guy thing. Just like murder is mostly a guy thing. The fact that a person committed it while wearing a wig and lipstick is irrelevant. But what's not a guy thing is having balls, and lady, you got them.
Another Cojones Awards recipient Maher recognized was body positivity influencer who shed 60 pounds, challenging the narrative around obesity and health.
Our next award goes to Rosie Blair, who had been a plus-sized body positivity influencer, but then, like Leah Remini leaving Scientology, realized that obesity wasn't a positive at all. In fact, it sucks. And lost over 60 pounds, which for our British viewers is the equivalent of losing Victoria Beckham. But not everyone was happy with Rosie's choice, and the response from the people who are so against body shaming was to scream, "Shame!" But Rosie refused to be bullied and said, "I have zero remorse for being public about my weight loss. 2 years ago, I couldn't wipe my own ass." We'll skip the handshake, but for standing up for health over ideologically driven insanity, this award is for you.
In addition, Maher mentioned Dartmouth College President Sian Belloc for bringing back the SATs for admissions, a move that reflects her commitment to maintaining rigorous academic standards.
So let's get right to it. Our first cojones goes to Dartmouth University President Sian Belloc, who reinstated standardized testing at admissions, and by bringing back the SAT, made a clear and brave statement. It's not racist to test if high school students know shit. But if you're stupid, don't panic. Harvard, Stanford, and Princeton are still test optional. Yes, it's a great time to be a dumbass, but not at Dartmouth. So, Sian, for bringing back testing, you get these testes.
As the Kone Awards came to a close on real time, Maher hopefully left some viewers pondering the broader implications of cancel culture and the tenacity displayed by those who defy it. How can we encourage more public figures to resist cancel culture? And is cancel culture truly a thing? Let us know what you think in the comments, and as always, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Thank you.
And now, here's your host, Bill Maher.
Thank you, and welcome to the Cojones. I'll be your host for the next 4.5 hours, and tonight, the award show that recognizes those who, at the risk of their reputations and livelihoods, have fought back against cancel culture, whether it comes from the left or the right. We've got a lot of anxious nominees hoping to get their hands on my balls. Our next Cojones goes to California State Senate Leader Tony Atkins, because 8 years ago, California did a real California thing and banned business travel from any of its state employees to any state in America where the laws about gender identity and expression weren't up to California standards, forgetting that no one is ever up to California standards. Which meant that any Cali state worker, from congressmen to college football coaches, weren't allowed to visit on business half the country, evil totalitarian police states like Iowa. But Tony Atkins said, "Having grown up lesbian in the South, I know from personal experience growing up in a rural community where it is more conservative, that the way to change people's minds is to have direct contact. Polarization is not working." So last year, California repealed the ban. We can trade with Ohio again. So Tony, these cojones are for you, which you can display on your mantle ironically.